Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. 79 years ago on this day, American forces were preparing to come over the reef here in Saipan and launch an attack. We take a look at a unique encounter. Also tonight, when will Chinese tourism resume in the NMI, and who is going to take the lead? And more tonight on the Larry Hillbloom estate battle, seen through the eyes of a former reporter. In sports, the soccer championship held in Cobreville, and let me tell you, these kids are tough and fast and skilled. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
What's the move? What's the move?
Hafaday and Tiro golfers, you're invited to the 21st annual Hand Me Charity Classic Golf Tournament on Saturday, July 15th at Lau Bay Golf and Resort West. Cash, cars, and other incredible prizes, and with our popular Blackjack Double Peoria format, anyone can win. Awards luncheon and a raffle you don't want to miss right after. So register today at Lau Lau, and we'll see you for a great day of golf on July 15th. From your friends at Hand Me.
Mickey D's McCrispy. Formerly known as the Crispy Chicken Sandwich, now has some respect on his name. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Real talk. The Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich should have been named Spicy McCrispy from jump. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hafaday, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Chris Nelson in tonight for Sally Lemus. 79 years ago, on June 15th, 1944, Saipan was Japanese territory, and American forces came over the reef in Chalankanoa to launch an attack that would later be called the Battle of Saipan. That battle led to an intriguing friendship that lasted a lifetime.
People sometimes ask, what is your favorite story that you have ever covered? Hard to choose just one, but walking 600 miles with just a backpack across Spain is right up there. Reporting from the top of Kilimanjaro and experiencing the animals of the Serengeti, definitely in the top 5. Hearing the Nepalese cheer for us after playing for the NMI soccer team in Kathmandu certainly makes the list. But all-time favorite? It might have been one close to home. Right here in the Marpi area. It was raining hard. The year was 2004. It had been 60 years since the Battle of Saipan, and two men who were both in their late 80s came back to our island to celebrate a friendship that sprung to life in the middle of one of the biggest battles of the war. And the men weren't in the trenches together, they were on opposite sides. Let's have a look.
Over 40,000 people died on Saipan during World War II. Takeo Sato was not one of them. His unit was stationed up north in the Marpi area, and as the Americans approached, like many others, he took refuge in a cave. Sato and his unit hid for almost a month before an explosive device, perhaps from a ship, hit their hideout. The entrance to it collapsed right on top of Sato. He was knocked senseless. Sato says he knew that he would be killed He just didn't know when.
これはもう最後だと思ってるから、いつどう死ぬかは別としてね、思ってたから、そんなことで助かるだろうかどうだろうか、その後考える暇ないです。
But Sato was not killed. Hours later, when a crew came by, they found the stunned soldier. When he awoke, he was a prisoner of war, and his captor, John Rich, spoke Japanese. It was the odd beginning of what has become a 60-year friendship.
When I first saw him on the truck with the others, I realized he was an unusual man from the time we started. I said, "Are there any officers here?" in Japanese, and he replied in English. First exchange was upside down. I was speaking Japanese, spoke back English. He says, I am a captain. Took him back, we sat for a couple of hours, as he said, the sun going down, and we talked about everything, everything about Japan, international affairs, which he'd known very much about. And we realized we had a very intelligent and a wonderful man.
Sato was soon sent to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, to a POW camp where the two met again.
Interrogate prison. I went right out to the prison camp. Where is Takeo? And he came up, and I would go out daily, and we'd have these wonderful 1-2 hour talks about everything.
In February of 1946, the war was over, but Sato was still a POW. His family in Japan thought he was dead.
And when I got there, I got a Jeep, managed to get a Jeep and drove out to Fujisawa where his family was. And I remember we parked and I was trying to find a way in. Little girls in wooden clogs led me up this little narrow street into the house. His mother was there and his younger brother, who was then a college student. And I went inside and they had his picture draped in black. He'd already had his posthumous Buddhist name, so they thought, assumed he was dead.
In November of 1946, Sato finally came home to Japan, and Rich stayed there, taking a job with NBC. They have remained friends ever since, raising children together, enjoying their grandchildren. Rich turns 87 this year. Sato turns 86. When they first met in Saipan, in that cave, they were both single. 60 years later, they return to a cave with their wives.
And I think I don't know, maybe there's a lesson in this, I don't know, but wars end and people can get along together if you treat them right.
Budget hearings continue on Capitol Hill today. CHCC told lawmakers that revenue at the hospital has gone from about $20 million per year in 2011 to $80 million in 2021. Let's take a look.
It's been a little over 10 years since the hospital was turned into a corporation. This morning on Capitol Hill, lawmakers conducting budget talks listened to CHCC personnel about the current state of healthcare in the NMI.
When the CHCC was created, there was an acknowledgement specifically from this body, from the House, that it didn't mean that the CHCC would no longer need public funds, that appropriations would still be needed until the CNMI enacts comprehensive healthcare financing, such as universal mandatory minimum health coverage. So right now we are still looking at about a 30% uninsured rate. It's difficult to tell with Medicaid PE ending, but it's still a very high rate of people who cannot afford to pay for healthcare.
CHCC says in the past 10 years, expenses have doubled while revenues have quadrupled.
We have grown our employee base from 585 to 874, locally funded, from administrative to medical professionals. We have our expenditure increased from 40 million to 85 million, and so did our revenue. In 2011, revenue was just 18.4 million, but in 2021, revenue was at 83.2 million.
Esther Munya on the medical referral program and how to potentially reduce some of the costs.
We did recommend to Medicaid that they start approving a state plan to allow foreign hospitals to be covered under their program. Right now, it does not allow it. So you will see some savings, obviously, in airfare. You will see some savings also in treatment of care.
The NMI used to have 3 tourism markets, Japan, Korea, and China, but these days it's pretty much only one, Korea. We take a look tonight at arrivals from the People's Republic of China.
While tourism numbers from Korea continue to improve, the numbers from Japan and China are still in just the hundreds. Prior to COVID, Chinese arrival numbers were strong, with close to 200,000 arrivals per year. Speculators who came in on the heels of the Imperial Pacific Casino project bought up lots of Saipan real estate and opened a number of businesses. Chinese tourists could enter the NMI under a parole-in-place program that allowed them to travel here without obtaining a U.S. visa, something not available in Guam. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of construction workers entered the NMI as tourists and didn't leave, working illegally on the casino build, and many Chinese used the parole-in-place program for birth tourism. Prior to the pandemic, about half of the babies born at CHC had Chinese parents who flew in here for delivery. Birth packages that included the promise of U.S. citizenship were marketed on the internet, and there was even local advertising for surrogate mothers as part of the birth tourism movement. Times have changed. The casino is now closed, embroiled in litigation, and much of the property speculation has not materialized. MVA's managing director, Chris Concepcion, talks tonight about the China market, and it's a bit complicated.
So the China market, pre-COVID, we got over 200,000 Chinese arrivals a year. I remember it. Today we have a few hundred. It's not zero, which is a good thing, but we definitely, we are one Commonwealth, and if the direction from the administration is to focus our efforts on other markets because of geopolitical concerns regarding China, then absolutely, we're on the same page. But it is impossible to ignore that market. It's just so huge, and the potential for it to provide, sort of this jolt for the business community is there, right? But we do have other markets in the region. Taiwan is one, Hong Kong is another one, which technically have their own passports. They're not technically under China, so it's different, and they don't need visas to come to CNMI. Well, neither does the Chinese, because they have the parole program. But until things sort of cool down and calm down in the region, and and until unless the business community is sort of adamant that they want to sort of target that market, that we're going to sort of let the free market play itself out. If there's members of the business community, the travel industry, that are interested in that market and they want to expend their resources, we totally welcome it. We're not going to oppose it, so it's something that the MVA at this time is not going to put any significant resources into. However, we're there to provide sort of background support if there's any sort of free marketing that we could do, right? That's always an option.
After the break, a prison escape for a day at the beach. We'll have details on that as more news is next.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Mariana's Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Mariana's Business Plaza.
All workers have the right to a safe workplace. Employers must provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards and comply with applicable OSHA standards, including proper reporting of injuries. Training needs to be done in a language and vocabulary employees can understand. and an OSHA information poster must be displayed prominently in the workplace. Workers, you have the right to raise a safety or health concern with your employer or OSHA without being retaliated against, and request an OSHA consultation of your workplace if you believe there are unsafe or unhealthy conditions. OSHA can help. Free assistance to identify and correct hazards is available to small and medium-sized employers without citation or penalty. So look out, speak up, and stay safe. Job safety and health, it's not only good practice, it's the law. Check out OSHA.gov or call 664-3154 or 3155.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it.
Welcome back. You're watching the Wednesday night edition of the Channel 2 News, and we have more tonight with a former anchor who once covered a fight over hundreds of millions of dollars and an inmate who escaped from prison just to spend a day at the beach.
25 years ago, Chow Win covered the news in the Mariana Islands. She reported and anchored the nightly news with the late Travis Kaufman and covered crime, cops, and courts. Chow covered the estate battle for Larry Hillblum. Hillblum was in a plane crash in 1995 near Onatahan. A search of the area found the body of fellow passenger Jess Moffness, but Hillblum's body was never recovered despite an extensive search. Larry had a will that directed that the bulk of his money go to the University of California at San Francisco. However, under NMI law, unacknowledged children that were born after a will was written were entitled to a claim of assets. Several children came forward in a battle over hundreds of millions of dollars ensured weekly drama. Chow was right in the thick of it.
To cover arguably the biggest estate case at the time in the world, and all the dynamics that and all the inner workings and intersections of this community and Larry's estate and fortune.
Now, normally reporters make eye contact with attorneys and defendants as they are leaving court and ask for a comment. Chow took a different approach. She used her lack of great height to frequently attack with her microphone from below, an effective route that almost always ensured a spontaneous conversation. While Hillblum was the biggest story she ever covered, her favorite one was a little more local.
I always joke my favorite story, and I don't know why I remember this story, is I covered crime, I covered courts and cops. And the one story I do remember is an inmate had slipped out of the jail to go drinking beer on the beach, and so he was on trial. Did he leave the jail to go to the beach to drink beer, or did he not? That was a really fun trial, and just to cover it, it's like it goes into the pool of, can you believe I covered a story like that?
From Saipan, Chow headed back to Texas.
I had an amazing opportunity to go back to my hometown of Houston, Texas, to work as a local news reporter. I was home for a visit. My old boss said, come back to Houston and go work. And it was like my dream job, right? So in those years, I worked in markets including Houston, Atlanta. I ultimately retired working in Houston as the weekend anchor of a local CBS station. That path really led me to become what I am now, which is a social worker. When you go out into these communities, you meet a lot of people in need, vulnerable populations, people who are stricken by crime and violence and hurricanes and disasters and what have you. And so I felt like over the years my heart of compassion grew and empathy grew, and that led me down a path of becoming a social worker. I went back and got my master's, counsel families and children, and really the other piece of what I do is I counsel women and children who are victims and survivors of domestic and sexual violence. So really kind of, I feel like I've been able to do all the things I love to do, to tell stories, to advocate for people who are suffering, and to still have a piece of journalism. I still do a little bit of TV news here and there. I still do a political show every month on the local station, so write op-eds. It's been a wonderful journey towards what has been an incredible few careers for me.
The Taste of Marianas is running each Saturday in June, and each week features a different lineup of food and entertainment from the fishing base in Garapan. Let's take a look.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Premium office space is available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Features include dedicated parking, fast internet, backup power, good water, and natural light throughout to go along with the very best views on Saipan. So don't settle for space when you can get peace and peace of mind. Call Hermosa Vista today at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com. Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, M-League soccer or football, depending on your passport, comes down to the last two teams. One is undefeated going into the playoffs, but 11 Tigers, who sometimes played with 10 or 9 or even 8 this season, is now at full strength and has other ideas. Let's roll it from the pitch.
When soccer first got organized in the Marianas, the national team was made up primarily of older players, some of whom were soccer players growing up, but also some that came from sports like hockey, basketball, lacrosse, and football. Over the years, the national team has continued to get younger and faster and tougher, and this current generation of players have ticked off many of those desirable attributes. This weekend, high-quality football on display at the Culberville pitch. Men's League Championship, 11 Tigers versus MPU, and the boys are going hard. Early first half action, a pass into space, and it's a mad rush for the ball. A shot on frame, nicely defended by Dane Hodges, who deflects the shot and is back on his feet a moment later. More offense by MPU. Free kick into the box, and somehow Dane is going to stop this missile with an outstretched hand.
There it is, there it is.
Nice save, buddy. Corner kick, but this is going to be nicely defended by 11 Tigers. Still no score. Free kick and a rare mishandle by Hodges, but the mistake is covered and cleared away. No harm, no foul, no score. Still 0-0 or 0-0. 11 Tigers is going to throw in the ball from deep in their own territory. It's a big throw from Elliott. Quick header is then intercepted by MPU. Jaira is going to take the ball and quickly switch fields. And they're going to look for Dylan Mister in his right foot, who says, hey, you know what's better than 0-0? How about 1-0? Ball goes into the back of the net. MPU with the early lead. But it wouldn't stay that way. 11 Tigers scores, and it's 1-1 at halftime. Referees doing a great job in this match. Officiating has really improved here in the NMI. 11 Tigers has the wind in the second half, and they also have Sungjun Tenorio back from university. Sungjun with some nifty footwork here in the second half. He's one-on-one here, and then it's 2-on-1. But Tenorio's not going around. He's going to go through. A nice move here to split the defenders, and a nice pass into the box, but no score. Second half action, fierce. Tenorio would score later in that second half to give 11 Tigers the go-ahead goal, and they would hang on for the win. 11 Tigers is the men's champion for the season, and a great game played in Culberville by both teams. Congratulations, boys. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
South Korea won the women's singles and the mixed doubles during the Badminton Championship games on Sunday. Let's take a look.
Crown Plaza Northern Marianas Open 2023 Badminton Finals held on Sunday at the Gilbert C. Atta Gymnasium in Susupi. Second longest match during the finals on Sunday, the women's singles lasted an hour and 6 minutes. Kim Ga-ram of South Korea and 16-year-old Tomoka Miyazaki of Japan treated badminton fans with a breathtaking game. World junior champion Miyazaki won the first set. She scored 21 points against 15 points from Kim, but Kim rallied, and she's going to win the next two games to win the title. Scores for the second and third sets, 25-23, heartbreaker there, and then 21-13.
So happy. Yeah. Is she happy? Very nervous. I'm very nervous and I'm trust coach. Yes.
Dream come true for Kim Ga-ram by winning her first international title. In the mixed doubles, South Korea's Wang Chan and Shin Sung Chan faced Japan's Hashiru Shimono and Miku Shigeta. The powerful duo of Wang and Shin did not disappoint their fans by defeating Shimono and Shigeta in two straight games, score 21-13 and 21-15.
I'm so happy. So today's game very 어렵다고 봐요. Very difficult, tough match. 네, tough match. 네, so very easy, so happy.
Crowd favorite will be looking for a repeat at the Take Care Saipan International 2023 tournament, which is running now. Chris Nelson with the Channel 2 News.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goats Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. Two simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
Today's weather, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east-northeast wind 13 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 18 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east winds 9 to 16 miles per hour with gusts up to 20, high of 86, low 76, humidity 82%. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east winds 11 to 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 18, high of 87, low of 76. In the marine forecast today, east winds 10 to 15 knots, wind waves 2 to 3 feet, east swell 3 to 4 feet. Tonight through Thursday night, east winds of 10 to 15 knots, wind waves 2 to 3 feet, east swell 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise 5:46 in the morning. We got a high tide at 5:57 just a couple of minutes ago. Low tide 10:59 p.m. and sunset 6:47 p.m. That's going to do it for us here on this Wednesday in the Commonwealth. Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here on Friday night. Good night.